Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 just released one after Call of Duty Vanguard, which had horrible feedback from the community, which meant this year Call of Duty had to deliver, or else things could get bad. Call of Duty Vanguard being the worst rated COD of all time by many credible sources means MW2 could not disappoint, because there are more critics than ever watching Activision's every single move. Modern Warfare 2 came out in October of 2022, earlier than most CODs that typically release in November. This was probably due to Vanguard's poor performance. That means Activision had a large chip on their shoulders when it came to releasing this game. That's why I believe Activision went all out for pre-launch promotions such as Mountain Dew bottle caps, the Little Caesars promo which had its own signature pizza, and the Burger King collab with its own in-game skins, and many more promotions such as the Jax Link's beef jerky collab. This game had very mixed opinions throughout its life cycle. There was never really a general consensus for this game, but one thing that the majority of the community disliked was that Mastery Camo challenges were easier than ever. For the average player, it gave a grindy and realistically achievable goal for them, where other older COD players and content creators thought it was too easy and took away from the challenge that grinding masteries once held. But I'd rather let the game speak for itself. Let's load it up.
Very first thing I want to say after loading it up is that iconic, almost signature walkie-talkie radio calling as you loading up the game. For me, that's a little nostalgic, and then also that shit's just fucking cool. But maybe I have a little bit of a swayed opinion in this game because this was the very first game I really started taking Call of Duty like seriously. Like, I was very casual, but on this game I literally hit Platinum, which is this game's diamond for ARs, in one fucking night. And it was a mixture of because this game was simply really easy and that I literally did not sleep. But no, let's take a look at these mastery camos, which was really everybody's number one issue with this game. We have gold, which was literally only 3 kills without dying 10 times. Platinum challenge, which was get 25 long shot kills, which is super easy with an AR. Then sorry about that. Then we have the polyatomic camo, which is 25 headshot kills with the Kastov 762, and the 51 polyatomic camos, which the game would just hand it to you with no Orion, like actual challenge. And then the actual camos leading up were so easy. You needed 50 base kills, which you can get that in 1 game of shipment, 20 kills while mounted, which you can get that again in 1 game of shipment, which you could do both of these at the same time if you had the gun leveled up enough, 50 kills while ADS, which you do passively while trying to get this one, and 15 kills from behind, which is a little bit harder, but it was still not a daunting task. Although, one thing I have to say about these mastery camos is that they were just fucking clean. Gold in this game, I think, has been the cleanest gold has looked since Black Ops 2. This camo just really amazes me. Platinum was super unique, but in-game looks absolutely amazing, and that's why in MW3 they followed up with Gilded, which is like this, don't know if it's called Gilded, but I know it's another Platinum similar camo. And then Polyatomic, which is in my top 5 favorite masteries of all time. This shit's fucking awesome. And then Orion, which actually needed to be changed halfway through this game's life cycle because they thought the animating on it was way too slow. But the second worst issue that this game had, its movement was hated by the entire community and comp players. Sprinting is perfectly fine, but you could not slide cancel. You could not slide cancel at all, and this game also just felt kind of buggy on console, which made just nearly unplayable sometimes. If you had any amount of lag while trying to play this game, you would get shit on because its lack of movement combined with input delay literally made this game unplayable. But guns felt really strong in this game. Like, very strong. But it was one of those games where recoil really didn't play a factor. The AK is known for being a very recoily gun in almost every Call of Duty, and with no attachments to shit is easily controllable. But speaking about weapons, weapon tuning, let's just throw on a muzzle here. This was a love-hate relationship because weapon tuning came with weapon trees, and weapon trees was I had to get this gun max level to say get another attachment for a different gun, like the receiver. You have all of these guns which have the same or similar receiver, and unlocking attachments for different guns would unlock attachments for the guns in said weapon tree. I know, I can't even explain it and make it sound normal because this shit was fucking ass. But for example, let's say I want to make a full no recoil build, so I'll go recoil smoothness and gun kick control for my muzzle, and then throw on a stock. We'll just do the F-Tac Elite stock. Do this. Not gonna fuck with any of that. Put on the recoil control barrel. Tune that all the way out. Put on one of our recoil control underbarrels, so we'll just do the Bruin tilt grip. And then we'll throw on a little sight like the Cronin dot, my favorite sight from this COD, and then head into firing range. And with all these tuned attachments, this gun like, literally has negative recoil. This game, I think, really excelled on weapon creativity, but I think the way they executed it was fucking horrible. Because one thing that I really pet peeved, which I mentioned earlier, is like, let's say I wanted a certain muzzle for the cast-off, I would have to go over to LMGs and grind out the RPK because they're both of the same receiver, which is the AK receiver, which I thought was so fucking stupid. But other than the guns, let's go ahead and look at the maps. Let's go drag our ass over to private. Let's put us in a TDM so I can look at the maps. Waiting for it to stop bugging out. Still connecting here, so we'll just go ahead and... Okay, here we go. Game setup. Maps. The maps on this game were just mid. And when I mean just mid is there were some completely horrible maps and some like really, really good maps. And that was pretty much it. Just a whole lot of ass and a whole lot of good just equaled a mid map pool. Like, these are such forgettable maps. But when you get over to, like, Greenberg Hotel, this was a really good map. Or Black Site, which was a pretty good map. And then Crown Raceway, which I think deserves a remaster if they do another MW game. Dome, which was a remaster of a MW2. I don't know if it was from COD 4 or if it was from MW2, but a Dome remaster. Then Farm 18, which was original, which is my favorite map from this Call of Duty. I think Farm 18 is literally the perfect map. Then you got like Embassy Exhibit, which like gives really strong essence of Raid, the BO2 and Cold War map. And then, you know, just a bunch of more forgettable maps. Mercado, which was so annoying on SND. And then Sena Border Crossing. This map was hated by the entire community at launch. Hold on, I'll just show you guys why. While we're loading in, I'll go ahead and look at the store. This was another one of those really microtransaction-y CODs where like literally like every cosmetic was meant to just be fucking glowing in color to target content creators and therefore more purchases. But no, let's just go ahead and look at this map. Because, sorry if my audio cut out there for a second. Because this map was absolutely miserable. Let me throw on a grenade so I can show you guys why. Waiting for the cutscene. So you might be asking why this map is miserable. Well, let's get on top of this van right here. It is 3 lanes of only fucking cars. And if you don't know what they did in this game is they made cars explodable. So that grenade, it didn't do it right here, but it would explode an entire car, and if you were within a certain radius of the car, you would just fucking die. So you would have people standing over here, cross-mapping frags, and then, like, let's say we were all the way over here, their fucking frag lands here, like, in this van, and I'm trying to hold a long angle, this fucking van would just explode, and I would die. And that made TDM so swayed on this map, and it wasn't even fucking funny. This map, honestly, might have been in the top 10 worst projects that Call of Duty, Activision, fucking Treyarch, Blizzard, all them motherfuckers released, because this map is fucking ass. Horrible. Like, genuinely, whoever, like, put up the little blueprint, the shell for this map, whoever, like, walked up to the developers and was like, let's make a map that's like a border crossing highway and then fill it with explodable cars. Like, whose fucking idea was that? This was genuinely missing the mark by a large margin. This map, like, seriously, it was one of the most irritating pieces of shit excuses of a map that Call of Duty has ever released. My genuine hatred for this map is above and beyond. But before I start raging about this map even more, let's look at the rest of the maps. No, I do not want to start another TDM. Actually, we don't need to look at the rest of the maps. They're co-op. I really liked the co-op missions. They were short, and they were likable. And I'm pretty sure certain ones you could get camos, XP, whatever else. And then Raid, which was also just a very, like, grindy, like, almost co-op campaign style type of thing that was really fun. I remember playing this a lot with my friends. Then we have the base game modes for this Call of Duty, which is TDM, FFA, Domination, Search, Headquarters, Kill Confirm, Control, Cyber Attack, which I'm pretty sure is new, Hardpoint, Prisoner Rescue, Knockout, Bounty, Infected, Drop Zone, Gun Game, Grind, 10v10 Mosh Pit, in third person mosh pit, and then I'm pretty sure there is a shipment 24/7, which was why people thought getting camos in this game was so easy, because combined with how easy it was to get them, shipment was also a 24/7 game mode. But let's look at the progression rewards, the prestige system, if I can find out how to look at it. Here we are. So every prestige was every 55 levels, like usual, but leveling up in this game was easy, and when you prestiged, it wasn't like the Black Ops games where when you prestige, you lose everything. You just kept on going, which that's why I managed to get it to fucking level 300 in this game, because it was just so super easy, along with the next COD where I was level 8 fucking 100, which would be like over here in like prestige 15 and 16. I still think max leveling a COD is some straight nerd shit, but it was still very, very easy to get a high level in this game. And then looking over here at weapons, which will be the last thing we go into, ARs, I think had some great release ARs, which actually I think I can memorize. It was M4, TAQ56, Lockman 556, STB 556, M16, Kastov 74U, Kastov 545, and then the Kastov 762. And then the DLC ARs were the Tempest Razorback, the M13C, the M13B, the Hemlock, and the Chimera, which were all good DLC ARs. Battle rifles, same thing, Cronin Squall, and I think the SL14 were the only two DLC DMRs. I won't go through every single one again like I was doing for ARs and battle rifles, but SMGs, you know, just fucking solid. The Vel 46, which was the MP7, MP5, MX9, which could be built out to an AR, especially with weapon tuning. Vaznev, which is like your like AK of the ARs. The Vaznev is very reliable. The Mini-Bach, which is the Bullfrog, another like weird MP5-ish type of gun, and then the Fennec, which I think is completely unique. And then shotties, which I remember shotguns used to be fucking hell in this game because of weapon tuning. You could use slug rounds and still get the equal bullet spread that you would get from using regular shotgun bullets. And then the LMGs, and sniping in this game was super mixed. This was a after release gun, but the FGX Imperium made it better, but overall sniping in this game was strange because you would have guns like the LAB, which are really just higher hitting marksman rifles, and then the Signal 50, which is a semi-automatic 50 cal. So sniping in this game was never really smooth until you got the FGX Imperium. The Victus was always okay. And then the melees, which I need to go over to my secondary to look at. Okay, I guess I don't know how to look at knives anymore, but no. And then perks, you know, pretty simple. You would run 2 base perks and then a bonus, and then you could, like, if you were performing well, you could earn your better perks. Which overkill was a necessity in this game because pistols were low-key ass. like just low key, high key, fucking some ass. Let me try to show you guys. Before the FTAC Siege came out, which was pretty much just a Tech 9, which was completely unfair. We had regular pistols, and then the X13 Auto, which was good, but it had a lot of recoil, and the GS Magna, the goofiest gun to ever come from this game. And let me show you why. Shit's fucking disappointing. A 50 cal Deagle that is automatic. Yes, a fucking 50 cal Deagle with a switch. And built right, this shit actually torn up bodies. Visual recoil up the ass, but it was still just a very strange gun. But no, I think that's going to be it for today's video. If I were to describe this COD in one word, different.